I'm David Shankland. I'm a sculptor, and a sculptor who works in wood. And about 12 years ago, I had a unique opportunity. A friend of mine was on vacation in Alaska and was viewing some of the Native American museums, the Totem pole museums, which are extraordinary up there. She said, I looked at these, and she said, I knew I had to have one, and I knew who was going to do it. And that was me, and I had no idea that my future was being decided for me 5,000 miles away. But she came back with this proposal, and I said, absolutely, this would be fun. And then we began the process, and with each customer, the process is similar, but it's unique to the customer. I told her, I said, well, the purpose of totem poles were to tell the clan story or the tribe story or the family story. And so what I needed from her was to come up with 12 to 15 different ideas that would tell her story. And this was intriguing to both of us. I said, take your time and think about it, and people should be able to look at this and get some idea of who you are and the things that are important to you. And you'd be surprised at the things that come up. And we got to know each other quite well, and she had a lot of fun with it, and I had a lot of fun with it. And she said she was very firm about some things. The top of the pole, she said, has to be a raven's head, because that's traditional. And somewhere there has to be a thunderbird, which was also a tradition of the poles that she had seen. On her pole, however, in between the raven and the thunderbird, she wanted the grill of her Ford truck, because she said, I love my truck, and I've always loved my truck. So it's a fairly subtle looking grill of a Ford truck, but it's a Ford Ranger. And then we kind of worked our way down to about 15 of them, different ideas, and some of them were gardening, so vegetables would show up, or dogs. The Dalmatians showed up. Anything could be put on the pole, as long as it tells their story. And I think she was a very big fan of Teddy Roosevelt. So Teddy Roosevelt showed up on the very bottom of the pole, just a face carving. And I thought, well, let's see, what would be fun with Teddy Roosevelt? So I put two hands carved above his head, because Teddy Roosevelt walked softly and carried the big stick. So he was carrying the big stick. So well, she loved this. And after a certain period of time, the idea was she'd come up with an idea, and I would interpret it. As the artist and as the sculptor, I'd interpret the design. After there was a period of time where she kept coming over almost every day. And I got to the point, I said, you have to stop. I have all the information I need. You're going to have to trust me on this. And we had a wonderful time. It took me about 2 or 3 months to do, which would be the average length of doing a pole. I'm currently about to start on a pole which is going to be 38 feet tall, maybe 6-7 feet in the ground. And this was a cedar pole. This was a remarkable find. It's going in front of a log home and up on a hill, so the pole has a lot of visibility. But the customers, we've started the process, and they're thinking about what's important to them, and their faith's important to them. It's kind of an intimate thing, this building of this story pole. And the customers will call up, and initially they'll say, well, I want this, this, and this, and this. And then they think about it for a couple of days and say, well, maybe that's not quite as important as I thought. Maybe take that out and put this in. So it's kind of in flux, and for maybe a month or 2 months, and then I'll come up with drawings and designs. And then once those are firmed up on their location on the pole, then I start on a model. They have a rough idea of what's coming, and any final changes, and then I kind of say, okay, here we go. And it will stay that way. We can make some modifications, but the customers are very involved, and they enjoy that. This is their personal story, and we have a lot of fun. The poles I use, I'm not traditional in the sense that the Native Americans would have done. Just using hand tools, a project that's going to take 2 or 3 months, I will use some chainsaw work, but a lot of grinding equipment, things to speed it up a little bit. But even with those, it takes a long time. It's like an individual sculpture all the way down, maybe 15 different sculptures that have to somehow be pulled together, and that's where it's fun for me. And the look on the woman's face that for the first pole when we set it up was, it was like pole raising day, and a bunch of people came, and we had a wonderful time. And up it went, and she just, she said she kept calling me up every day. She goes, I go stand out there and I just stare at it every day, and it's kind of an integral part of her yard. And of course we've become very good friends. So that's what I do. This is the latest pole. I'm just beginning the process, and the pole itself was just delivered to me about a week and a half ago. This is cedar, and 22 inches across at the base, and it's 38 feet tall. This is going to be a remarkable pole. This will be 6 to 7 feet in the ground, and the rest is going to be carved. The customers and I have started the process of picking up designs and tying something this big together. 38 feet is going to take quite a few designs. The pole itself is remarkable. This is just the height of it, 38 feet, and it's cedar, which telephone companies don't even use anymore. And I've counted close to 200 rings, which takes the pole way back prior to the Civil War. Undoubtedly, when the pole was installed, probably 40, 50 years ago, cedar was plentiful, and they were harvesting it. I have no doubts this tree came from either Western Canada or Western United States, the coast, which is basically the Western rainforest. And we had one piece, this large piece you see here, we had a cut in it, and when it was delivered I had them cut it off, and I said, holy cow, I put my nose down to the end here, and it smells like the inside of a cedar closet. It smell never goes away. This is, for future reference, I probably can't guarantee a piece this nice every time. It's possible to get cedar. Some of the poles are going to probably be yellow pine. But the age of this is going to a home it's up on a hill, it's a log home. This will fit in as if it was made for the site. And the customers are very interested in birds. There's going to be a kind of a vine motif working all the way down the pole, sort of supporting the designs and the ideas that they've come up with for to tell their story. So there's going to be a lot of birds. Eagle's going to be at the top. The customers have said everywhere they moved from East Coast to Arizona, within a day or two, an eagle shows up. So an eagle will be at the top, looking over their home and them. So this is the kind of thing that the customers and I get involved in. But when this came in, I was overwhelmed.
Okay.
You see the chain marks from where they had to pull it out of the ground, and I think they said, I don't know, 4,000 to 5,000 pounds, I think, somewhere around there. I said, the last pole I did, we had about 15 guys to pick it up. I asked the guy, I said, could 15 guys pick this up? And he said, everybody in your village would have to come and help you pick this up. It's just too big, and too much weight. But so we'll see. And that's part of the fun for me in working in cedar is, like I said, the smell is here. Every time I cut into it, I'm going to have that smell. And the 200-year-old tree and the history of that, and this will be fun.